Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Dredge, a super cool indie game that I discovered, last year or so? It kind of popped up out of nowhere. I gave it a shot, and it enticed me completely, and I couldn't stop playing it until I beat it, so that's got to say something good. It's a game about fishing, and obviously there's nothing else about the game. It's obviously just a fishing game. um, but no, it's got some eldritch undertones and some spooky stuff happens, and it's very mysterious and interesting and all that jazz. But uh, I could talk about the game for forever, but why don't we actually play the game? So we're just gonna start off quick by just going over the couple settings that I changed. It's mostly just the fact that I have it in 12-hour clock and I have it in imperial units because I am a filthy American and that is what I am used to. So that's what we're keeping. I'm also keeping tutorials on just so that you know when the tutorials pop up. Obviously, I'm going to explain the tutorials as they pop up anyways, but I'm just doing that to be consistent. There's also a bunch of other changes that you can make. I think the coolest one is the fact that you can change different colors that will emphasize different things in text. So you can actually change the color, but I keep it as just whatever. So for all you colorblind people out there, there are options to be able to have. But without any further ado, let's hit new and load, and let's start our save file here. The morning light fills your eyes, and you try to sit upright. You're lying on the cold, wet dock where you collapsed the night before. A short man is shouting orders at a handful of workers disembarking from a boat nearby. The man notices you.
Welcome to Great Marrow. I must say, quite the dramatic first impression. I see you've already introduced yourself to the jagged rocks along the bay. Did you not see the lighthouse? It was shining right at you. Ah, well, I'm glad to see the new fisherman is upright and breathing. Your boat was hopelessly damaged, but I've had a few of the locals move your things to one of our old vessels. We'll catch up later to discuss more details. I'll let you get out there to catch some fish. See if you can fill your cargo get your bearings in the light. Finally, I don't suppose I need to say this, but get back before sundown, before the fog rolls in. Keep a close eye on the time, it can really creep up on you.
Welcome to Greater Marrow, the first of the couple towns that are in the game. Obviously, there's going to be more things that we can do once we unlock them. But before I do anything, and before we actually get out on the water, I'm going to hit tab here so I can check out my cargo hold. So this game is a certified Resident Evil classic where you love to have the grid menu. You can rotate things, you can move things around to be able to make space. And also we have our couple equipment slots here with our peculiar engine and our basic fishing pole. So equipment will have their own slots and everything else will be everywhere else. Also on our main menu here, we have our boat speed, our fishing speed, and our lights. Basically, speed, it's how fast your boat goes. Fishing speed is a percentage as to how fast you fish when you're in a fishing minigame. And lights is just how powerful your lights are. Damage, self-explanatory. Most things, if you end up running into something or whatnot, they'll do a unit of damage. Sometimes they could do more than one. And whenever you take damage, you are most likely going to have something on your boat be messed up. So don't get hit by anything, and don't run into anything. And last, the catchable fish types. Right now we only have coastal. Fish types are caught through your different rods. So obviously right now we only have one rod, so we only have one type. Going over to our cabin, we have 4 slots. We have our pursuits, which is our quest menu of sorts. Starting off with a fresh start. I met the mayor of Greater Marrow, who sent me out to catch some fish and find my bearings. Seems nice enough. Warned me to be back by nightfall, though. He said something about the fog, a bit dramatic. Mayor asked me to catch as many fish as I can, then head back to Greater Marrow. Also, a big thing in this game is hotkeys. As you can see, I have the back option here. You're going to want to use X to navigate menus backwards and F to be able to dock. You'll kind of see them pop up in the stuff it'll show you. Just getting used to those hotkeys just makes navigating the world way easier. Messages, we don't have any of those. Encyclopedia has you go over every single fish ever. There's a lot of them. And some aren't fish, some are crabs. But we have plenty of stuff to go through. So I will go over each encyclopedia entry as they come up, because consistency. And also there's the map. This is the map of Dredge. There are 5 regions. Well, actually, technically there's 6 regions, because the open ocean technically counts as a region, so I guess I'm going to put that as a region. We start off in the Marrows, and then my goal is to do the same progression that I've done every time I play this game, where I'm going to go to the Marrows, go to the Gale Cliffs, go to Stellar Basin, Twisted Strand, and then last is Devil's Spine. I will kind of navigate around all these different islands because there's plenty of stuff to go and see throughout the world, and also, luckily, there's markers that you can place down that have different options, which allow you to kind of set points to be able to remember important things. And the game was also nice enough to put X's on your map whenever something important is spotted. So, without any further ado, let's get out onto the waters. I could click this button, or I could just hold X. So, intuitive tutorial design. When you move, the tutorial goes away. You can also see, very obviously in front of us, when you move, time accelerates. No matter what you do, time will accelerate. This is very, very useful to know, because it's why speed and other things are so important. Because no matter where you go and what you do, besides, I guess, moving back and forth, will consume time. And time is of the essence. If you spend too much time doing whatnot, well, that's time spent not fishing. And in a fishing game, you want to fish. Now, right in front of us, we have a little fishing spot here. We can come up to it, and we'll see the fishing spot. We'll press F to start fishing, and we'll see this little menu. So, what we can do, we can press F, and then whenever you see those green little blips, you just hit F again, and we've caught ourselves a blue mackerel. Now, the blue mackerel is the very first fish in our 76 pages of fish out of the 151 fishes ever. It's practically worthless, but it's enough to stave off hunger. Luckily, on this menu, you can actually see where it's located, which is super nice because it'll actually show you the location of all of the things you can find in a given region. So if I go all the way, you'll see that there are 12 species in the Marrows itself before it goes to Gale Cliffs. So that's kind of nice that you'll be able to kind of use this as a cheat sheet, but it'll be pretty obvious if you look around, you'll see stuff that you haven't caught before. Now, we have the sell price, which we don't know because we haven't sold it, the largest size that we've gotten, or considered a trophy size, what time of day you can catch them, and what type of equipment you need to catch them. We can catch them in rods and trawls. Obviously, we don't have a trawl, so we're not going to be catching one with that. But, yeah. Now, before I go back and catch more fish, I have this little spot in the menu here in the bottom left. If I hold E, I have this little radio menu here. Lights are standard. They turn on the lights. Those aren't important until it gets dark, because why would you need lights when it's not dark? The foghorn doesn't do anything. And the spyglass, which is awesome and I love as a mechanic. When you use your spyglass, you can see what is in front of you, which means I can look around and I can see what these things are. Like, I can see all kinds of stuff, like, super far away, and see what they are. Obviously, I don't know what they are, but I can see that there's stuff there. There's also something weird over there. So, back to fishing. And as you can see, as I fish, time will accelerate, which means you want to be effective while using these minigames, because it'll accelerate your fishing meter of sorts, which means you catch the fish faster, which means you spend less time fishing. And for each fish you catch, it'll slowly deplete this fishing shoal, I guess. Once it's been depleted, you can just press X to leave, and we can start moving around. But you'll see these little sparkles on some of these things. That means that you can inspect them. A floating buoy. It serves to mark safe passage past dangerous rocks and obscured hazards. Its dim light also provides a brief respite in the gloom of the night. Okay. And there's also these rocks over here, which we introduced ourselves in the opening cutscene to. The lighthouse towers above. Waves crash endlessly against the perilous rocks below. All creatures, human or otherwise, would have their brittle bodies broken and thrown at its feet. You ponder the intrinsic power of this structure, a vast column of stone shouldering the responsibility of countless lives. How long will it stand? How long until it decays into ruin, its purpose exhausted? The lighthouse towers above. Speaking of the lighthouse, has anybody else watched The Lighthouse, the movie? It's got William Dafoe in it. It's all black and white. It's really good. I recommend you watch it. Or at least I really like it. Anyways, let's go over to this shoal, because it's got something that we haven't fished yet. So let's fish it. And we've caught ourselves a cod. I know cod. Cod's a real fish. So, oh, the game says here, time only advances when you're moving, fishing, or taking other specific actions. So pretty much time does, it goes forward whenever you do anything. Which is good to know. Also, it's raining a little bit. Cod, plentiful and basic. Compared to the size of the blue mackerels, it is relatively significant. Also, because they take up more inventory space. So, that's pretty cool. The size of the fish is not only represented by, well, the actual size, but also the inventory space that they take up. It makes sense. And also, I probably should have mentioned, you can rotate stuff. So you can fit things in nice and neatly. I'll look around. I think I want to get some more cod, since blue mackerels are, for lack of a better term, not very good. They're pretty poor when it comes to selling. So, cod's your best friend. And while I'm just fishing here, I'll take a little bit of a moment to just kind of compliment the sound design. Obviously, there's been some beautiful music tracks that have popped up, and I'll get to mentioning those in a bit, but just the way everything feels, like the sound of the water churning below with all the fish moving around, and that sound plays whenever you're over a shoal. But just the rain, the sound of the boat moving around, sound of the spyglass, just everything kind of comes together, and I think that's complemented a lot by the design and how everything looks. It's got that just very nice painted art style that, at least for me, I really, really appreciate. And there's actually another game that I really, really like the design of. The Long Dark has a kind of similar approach to that painted art style that I so enjoy. Also, that's like one of my favorite games ever, which maybe I'll cover that game in the future. But for right now, I guess I'll head back to Greater Marrow and we'll deliver our fish, because it's about to be nighttime. As you can see by the bar at the top, it's Monday, it's day one. We have our compass, which is actually wherever our camera's pointing and not our boat. The black part of the bar is considered nighttime, and the blue part is considered daytime. Obviously, you can see that it's going to be nighttime soon. Nighttime starts at 6 p.m. to, I guess, 5:59 a.m. So from 6 to 6 is night and day, so it's fairly easy to remember. Oh yeah, and I'll go over here later, but it's not that important right now. And as the night comes in, game recommends us to use our lights, so I guess we could do that. These lights are not particularly useful, but once we get out to Greater Marrow, it's not going to be that big of a deal. You step onto the dock, Greater Marrow. The mayor is waiting nearby.
Ah, I see you've returned in one piece. Very good. Before you head off to town, we should discuss the matter of your boat. As I mentioned earlier, your old boat was too badly damaged to be repaired. However, I'm more than happy to sell you a replacement vessel, yours to own. I understand you may not have the necessary funds on hand, so we'll consider it a loan. But I want to make this easy for you. Until your debt is repaid, a tiny portion of your fish sales will go to paying it off. A small amount of interest will go towards improving the town. So, to recap, you need to sell fish to the local market, pay off your debt, and in turn, keeping the population fed and satisfied. Understand?
Where do I sell the fish?
Our local fishmonger will appraise and purchase what you catch. Is open all hours. Off you go then. Sell those fish while they're still fresh. Because there's nothing like fresh fish.
The fishmonger, you say? You enter a squalid shack on the fringe of the marketplace. The familiar smell of fish fills the air. Flies buzz haphazardly around a downcast man behind the counter.
You're the new fisherman, eh? Surprised they found a new one so fast.
What happened to the other one?
It takes a certain type of person to last out here. It's not a life for everyone. Anyway, to business. I'll pay you for fish. Bigger and fresher means more money. Some species are just worth more too. Other towns on other islands may pay you differently, but while you've still got a debt outstanding here, I suggest you pay it off first. So let's see what you got.
Selling a blue mackerel gives us about $7.50. Meanwhile, cod gives us about $20. And if we want to sell everything right away, you can just hold F. The mayor is standing outside the fishmonger's store.
Excellent work. I have no doubt you'll be able to provide for this town. Look here, I found this down by the docks. I'm sure someone like you can make something out of it. Why don't you take it? Oh, one last thing. A local shipwright mentioned she might be able to make some modifications to your ship. You should pay her a visit.
As you walk into the yard, you see the shipwright making repairs to a damaged hull. She looks at you briefly before turning back to her work. You must be the new fisherman. I can make improvements to your vessel in the yard. Mind you, I'm not in the business of doing favors around here. Payment is up front, and everything takes some time to install. Also, if you take on any damage from the rocks, or any damage at all, I can patch it up. Mostly. She shrugs and gestures toward the hull she's currently attempting to repair. A number of wooden boards, all well above the waterline, are splintered and scratched. Take a look round. Just remember, the bigger the equipment, the longer it takes to install. So plan ahead. So we have our first shop screen here. We have a simple skimmer, which allows us to catch shallow, and the weighted line, which also is shallow, but we can't afford it. But it does have a higher fishing time. Our next menu, we could, if we wanted to, buy a new engine. So that's pretty neat. We don't have any trawl nets. And we also could buy some new lights. Now, I think what I'm going to do, at least right away, I am going to just buy a simple skimmer, because it allows us to catch something new, and also because I can't afford the weighted line, or else I would buy that. And as you can see, it'll take 2 hours to install this. So if I just hold down and click, that'll take us to about 9:30. We can't buy anything else, so I guess we're done here. And since we have this little part here, what we can do, we can go over to this research icon, and we can look at all these cool things. Or, well, at least half of the menus. So, we could research the improved outboard engine, which is pretty decent. I'm not going to do this now, because I want to research the hydraulic rod. I can't purchase it yet. It's about $400, but it will be the thing that I am looking forward to buying next to the most. So I'm just going to research this now, because it allows us to catch oceanic fish, which we will eventually catch, because there are some in the region. But what we'll do next, we'll probably go for the improved engine, and then we want to get the flexible fishing pole, because this thing is pretty good. It can catch coastal and shallow, and it has a great fishing speed of 45%. So then we wouldn't have to have 2 rods for coastal and shallow. But we can't do that right now. But before we go back out on the water, let's talk to the mayor. What happened to the last fisherman?
The last fisherman? Oh, he was very unreliable. He'd go out at night, come back with no fish, and proceed to sleep all day. He was also a terrible captain. I mean, really terrible. Constantly running around in the reef, even in broad daylight. The shipwright almost ran out of wood for repairs. No, he was no good. One evening he left and never came back. So long, he shan't be missed by any of us.
I'd like to ask about the wider region.
Well, the main port over there is a place called Aweigh. It's right on the approach of the cliffs. You can't miss it. It's a whaling town, but I haven't heard much talk about it these days. I think quite a few people have left, one way or another. Quite a popular tourist destination. There's a resort and a atoll built on top of a beautiful coral reef. I'm sure there's a wide variety of fish there. Maybe you fancy getting your hooks into some of those? I don't think there's much to tell. It's just a tangled mass of trees. It's often blanketed by a thick fog, even during the day. You want some good lights and a good sense of direction if you go exploring there. Oh yes, it's really quite exciting. An active volcano amongst a city of ancient ruins. I must caution against sailing there, however. The ruins lie low in the water and will surely tear up through your hull. Not to mention the aforementioned volcano could erupt at any moment. You can occasionally hear it rumbling from here.
Well, that's about everything I wanted to talk to him about. You can actually come here and pay off some of your debt, which you can see just right here. But I think that's going to do it all for me. Despite not doing a whole lot of fishing, we kind of got ourselves started with the services in Greater Marrow. So next time, we'll be able to continue on our duties as a fisherman and catch some more fish. Especially now that we have the opportunity to catch shallow fish as well. But until next time, see you guys later. Have a good one, and bye-bye.